Ever since we got Star Fox revealed in early May, I have been constantly thinking about this game. The decades that I've been playing video games have almost all come up to this point in some ways. Now, yes, there's been other games and there's been other things that has happened, and there's awesome stuff, there's awesome titles, but Star Fox is a game that made me fall in love with games in the first place. On the Super Nintendo, it was one of the few games, one of the rare games that I ever got day one when it comes to what my parents would buy me. And then when Star Fox 64 came out, I could not wait to play that at a friend's house, renting it from Blockbuster, just anytime I can get my hands on it, until it got a bit cheaper to where I could pick it up. So there's a very special place in my heart for Star Fox. What I thought about the game, the marketing for the game, what they did with the FX chip. There's just so many different things that I saw in Nintendo Power, and then just how Star Fox has shaped the earlier parts of gaming for me. Now, yes, it's fallen off dramatically since then, but there is good news. I do think, based off the previous video that I made talking about Star Fox sales exploding, things seem to be exploding even more, to the point to where the initial stock allocation actually sold out. So I want to analyze that, exactly what happened, and of course look at what's happening since then, because I do think that this is a little bit bigger than maybe what is being said out there with it. So we're going to talk about that, in addition to some more stuff from one of the original creators of Star Fox, and of course big Nintendo Switch 2 news and a potential reveal of a huge RPG that people have been looking forward to. But before we continue on, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2. All you have to do to enter is hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and drop a comment below. We are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 once we hit 150,000 subscribers, and it will be random. So the more that you actually comment and interact, the better chance that you have to win. Hit that like button, click that notification bell, and let's go ahead and jump right back into it. Let's start off with Star Fox on Amazon. So shout outs to Alpha SSB over on Twitter. The profile is awesome. It says Star Fox is back. Love that. And they stay on Twitter. So looks like Amazon may have sold out of their physical Star Fox Nintendo Switch 2 stock. Star Fox is back, and as you can see here, this was at 4:37 p.m. on May 11th, 2026. On the screen cap here, it says #1 bestseller in Nintendo Switch 2 games. It's also a #1 bestseller in overall games for specifically games itself and new releases. And on top of that, it says currently unavailable. We don't know when the item will be back in stock. Now, I didn't see this right away. I think I saw this once my stream started, but by the time that I was doing my stream, the stock had already came back, and people posted actually not too much longer after that. It says looks to be back in stock. But let me tell you guys the reason why this is super important, and I just had to make sure that I reserved it on Amazon as well. I'll probably buy a couple copies. I'll give some copies away. We're gonna do some cool stuff with Star Fox on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I love the fact that they're matching the digital price with physical. Shout outs to Amazon and Walmart for that. But yes, the pre-orders are back, and it will release on the release date of June 25th. So the pre-orders are back with it. But what this tells me is that initial allotment, whether it was 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, however much that initial allotment that they estimate that they're going to have, they went through all of that. They checked in with Nintendo and said, hey, we've burned through all of it for our pre-orders. How much more can we get? Okay, we'll get you guys 10,000 more, or 15,000 more, or 5,000 more. And now they're on that. So the first number of orders have went through and have already booked in solid for many people with Star Fox on the Switch 2. And it looks like more orders are coming in. As I'm looking at this, the position is staying steady at #1 across the board. So that is something that you want to see, because we've been down this road before, at least I have, in looking at a new Star Fox game, hoping it does really good, and then it comes out and the reviews or something happens at Star Fox Command or at Star Fox Zero, and things just don't go well. So I'm hoping with this release of Star Fox that we're finally going to have some stability. They're going back to the well, taking the best Star Fox game where sales hit a peak. There is no other Star Fox game that is sold better than Star Fox 64. And I know it's the Star Fox from the original Super Nintendo, and then of course 64, that story again, but I do feel that the new visuals and the upgraded presentation, in addition to the nature of having Star Fox in the Mario movie, has gotten Star Fox significantly more attention than he's ever gotten before, pretty much since Star Fox 64. This is the most that people are interested in potentially seeing who Star Fox is. And yes, for every one person that says, I don't like this style, and that's okay, you don't have to. You can like the animated style more, you can like what they did before more. I think there's going to be at least 1 or 2 children or kids that say, whoa, that looks crazy different and cool. And then there's going to be people who have already seen Star Fox for as long as it is and says, okay, I want something different. I want this different type of realistic style. And if you grew up like me back in the day on the Super Nintendo, which I talked about with Mr. Takaya Imamura, where he stated that the graphics that he envisioned for Star Fox 64 are just like we're seeing with the new Star Fox game for the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's something that I thought was a thing from the very beginning. So it's really cool to see people excited and looking forward to Star Fox again. And just like I talked about before in a previous video, I just don't want to see a Kid Icarus Uprising, where people have been asking for a Star Fox to come back. People were asking for Kid Icarus to come back. It comes back. It's a new game. It's a good game. And people just say, meh. At times when it comes to buying the game. It didn't sell terrible, sold over 1 million units, but that should have been a 3, 4, 5 million unit seller, considering how good the game was, the content in the game, the quality of it from Masahiro Sakurai. It was just an incredible experience, and it had 3-on-3 multiplayer. So to me, that was a failure when it comes to back then. And I think that if you're looking at it now, Star Fox, $50, bringing it back in this type of way, on the Nintendo Switch 2, a hot system that's selling very well, I do think that this is the time that Star Fox comes back. And I think that there's a lot of things that they can do. I think this is a full reboot of everything for Star Fox. They're going to branch off and do different things from here if this game sells well. So I expect there to be a continuation to this. And with these sales so far, I think that we could get something when it comes down to it. If it continues, it's not 100%. It's not set in stone, but right now it's looking pretty good for Star Fox's revival on the Nintendo Switch 2. But I wanted to get into another thing when it comes to what one of the OG creators, character artists of Star Fox, Mr. Takaya Imamura, had to say himself about Star Fox, because there's been a lot of articles and things posted of what he said back and forth. And I have the utmost respect for him and what he's done and his personal opinions. This guy is Star Fox. Along with Miyamoto, the Argonaut guys, they created this franchise that now still, 30 plus years later, decades later, people are still excited. There's still something to look forward to, still be relevant for that long. Usually they die out like Street Sharks or something like that. So the fact that these guys, Falco, Peppy, Slippy, Fox, are still around, maybe not in their best shape like Star Fox 64 when it comes to these sales and popularity, but things are on the rise. And Mr. Imamura had this to say on a recent post, having the camaraderie of what Star Fox is. Good morning. No matter what touch or arrangement they take, the moment these 4 gather, they're instantly recognized as Star Fox. The strength of that, the incredible power of the symbolism inherent in character design is making me think deeply about it once again. So I think he is reflecting on the new designs, and I think he is coming around to it and starting to like more what they're doing. And that's what I've heard from so many people in my stream and on Twitter and in places. Yes, I'm sure there's gonna be people that say, no, the designs are bad no matter what. But the more you see these guys all together, even with Falco's chicken legs, even with Fox's little fox leg and kind of top heavy when it comes to things, Peppy looking kind of chunky as well, Slippy looking very wet when it comes to the skin and everything. This is Star Fox. The character, the brashness, the bravado, everything that encompassed what Star Fox is through the dialogue that we saw in the original Star Fox 64, and the other games is coming together, and you see it right here in this picture. So I think he's coming around a bit more, even though he did say that he liked the designs. I do think that he's thinking, man, this is actually looking better and better as I see the art. And I think once we get the game in our hands and we realize, wait a minute, guys, hold up. Yes, the designs are one thing, but this is Star Fox. Star Fox 64 is amazing. You can go play the 3DS version of the game, the remaster. You can go play that. It's awesome. You can play the 64 version of the game on NSO. That is fun. Star Fox is great. And now you have significantly upgraded graphics. You have way better sound and audio. You've got online multiplayer. This is going to be a great experience for new gamers and, of course, people coming back. Now, once again, I'm with a lot of you guys out there, man. I want a brand new Star Fox game. I think that it would have been awesome if this was a brand new Star Fox game, or at least they would have said, hey, this is a Star Fox 64, we're doing that, but then we're going to have a huge expansion that kind of goes after the story's end, and I don't think they're going to be doing that. There might be something in there, some secret content, maybe another level or two that they haven't talked about or something like that, but I don't think there's going to be like a huge story expansion. I would have loved that for this type of game, but I do think that this is going to lead to that. The investment it seems like they're taking here with the realistic look and trying to define Star Fox as its own IP separate from obviously that Mario movie cameo. It's never really been a Mario thing when it comes to Star Fox. And outside of Super Smash Brothers, that is something that I think took them time, effort, and money to do. So I'm super excited to see where Star Fox goes from here. And shout outs to Mr. Imamura to talk about this on Twitter, getting a lot of people to look at it, a lot of likes, a lot of people saying that they're excited for the game as well. Combine that with the sales that we're getting so far with the positioning, I think Star Fox is just set up to do great on Switch 2. And once again, can't stress enough, that price I think is really helping things out. If this is $70 or something, I think less people decide to take the leap, but at 50 it becomes, okay, I'll try it out, whether it's digital or physical. So what do you guys think when it comes to Star Fox on the Nintendo Switch 2? Let me know in the comment section below. Okay, let's move on to a big speculation thing that a lot of fans are having with Tokyo Game Show and the 30th anniversary, because some people are thinking that Kingdom Hearts 4 will be shown off at this year's Tokyo Game Show. So the annual Tokyo Game Show is set to grace Japan this September, and the company behind the event has posted a teaser image with many online speculating that it could be related to Kingdom Hearts 4. It has been quite some time since we have heard about the long-awaited game, which is seemingly in deep development at Square Enix. Definitely in deep development at Square Enix. Hopefully, there will be plenty of surprises in store at this year's Tokyo Game Show, which will be celebrating its 30th anniversary. So this is exciting, and I think some people are speculating because of the loading bar, and that represents potentially how Kingdom Hearts has some things like with the text or the font or stuff. There's been some speculation on that, and listen, could we see Kingdom Hearts at this event? Sure, it is always a possibility at a big event that we see some of Japan's biggest games, the biggest franchises, and Tokyo Game Show has been that. It's been a staple in this industry for decades now. So seeing something like Kingdom Hearts there finally get a real re-reveal, because they really only shown it once. They did have like a little bit of an update saying that, oh, they're still working on it, but outside of that, there really hasn't been anything, and that was years ago at this point. So whatever they show, I think it's going to be closer to the launch date. It's going to be closer to what the final graphics are going to look like, and we could potentially even get systems. I do think that that is potentially a thing here. Maybe Xbox, PlayStation, PC, and hopefully the Nintendo Switch 2. I think Square Enix would be crazy to not have a Switch 2 version of this game. And with their new multi-platform approach and the success that they've had already on the Switch 2 with games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Intergrade, in addition to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth that's coming out this summer, I do feel like they're going to have Kingdom Hearts 4 on the Nintendo Switch 2, and hopefully we get all of those Kingdom Hearts games that were previously cloud-based on the Nintendo Switch 1. Get those Kingdom Hearts collection games on the Nintendo Switch 2 native. That would be nice. So what do you guys think when it comes to everything here with Kingdom Hearts potentially showing up at this year's Tokyo Game Show, in addition to what's happening with Star Fox and the sales? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.